Hi everybody, just a quick video. It's only going to be a few minutes long, I think. At the very end, I'm going to play a clip of Scott Moe talking with Vassy on CTV News. It's like 2.5 minutes long, I think, or so. That's just cut out, and it's the New World Order part that he speaks about, how he feels about it, which doesn't really give you an actual opinion or answer on anything, just heads up. So the entire 11 minutes, I think, or 10 minutes and 30 odds, whatever, however long it is, he talks about the China arrangement and our deal in it, and like Saskatchewan's position and so on and so forth. If you want to watch the whole video, we'll put the link in the description below and you can go and see what I'm talking about. It was just this morning, or today, I think. So he talks about how, we're back to the restoration of how it was before. He does mention, not in the words that I will say it, but he does say that we're leverage and that he is aware that China is using us as such and that he's okay with it. China's unpredictable. We're going to do it anyway. He talks about how the Kuzma agreement with with the USA, and how that's upsetting the US that we're dealing with China. And Vassy asks him about free trade agreement, and he contradicts himself as far as I can tell. Kind of talks in a circle there momentarily about it. He says that if we can get a free trade agreement with other countries, and we were talking about China in the beginning, then that'd be great. And then she brings up Kuzma, and he's like, oh, well, we'll just do sector by sector with certain people in, whatever different countries. And then he kind of flip-flops back and forth between a broad free trade and sector by sector, which doesn't really state anything except that he just realized, like, oh yeah, right, we can't have broad free trade with China because it'll upset the big guy, and, So he doesn't really give us an answer on that, honestly. And he goes on to say how Vassy asked about assurances with China on the timeline and the terms of our MOU, and is there guarantees or any assurances? And he's like, well, not really. We don't have a timeline. We just kind of have to go about our day and to see how it ends up. I have a problem with all of this because he is supposed to be the premier of our province, and he's literally there just being used. Like, again, we're just a pawn in this bigger scheme. And so while I've been waiting for Scott to be like, yeah, no, Saskatchewan won't be used as a pawn, what I would like him to do is just either be with the independent side of it all and join up with Alberta at some point and be like, hey, we're being taken advantage of, let's do something about it and negotiate on our own terms and not let Ottawa's problems be Saskatchewan's solution to fix. Like, we don't need to be that for Ottawa. We don't. We can negotiate. Scott could have gone out there, done it by himself, had better terms given, and possibly even a better guarantee on what was going to happen on our items from our province. And yet he just lets Carney just drag us into that mess. I don't want to be a part of that mess. I'm sure you don't want to be a part of that. Who wants to be a part of that mess? Nobody. Then they retaliate, and then it comes down on us, or we need to pick up something else to make up for his shortfalls or Ottawa's shortfalls, and we don't need to do that. We have enough issues on our own side, and we have more than enough resources to do the negotiating on our own terms. I'm so done with Ottawa. I'm so done with Carney. I'm so done with the Liberals. I'm so done with all of it. I'm not even honestly listening to Scott Moe anymore at this point. He went on there and said nothing and said all of the things, and he just doesn't matter to me anymore, I think. And from here on out, I don't even know. We need to just be ourselves. And we need somebody who's going to stand in the forefront and be like, this is our little piece of the world, and you're going to negotiate with our little piece of the world. And these are our resources, and this is the West's resources, and this is how we're just going to move forward. Because at this point, no matter what Scott Moe thinks he wants or tries to do or any of that for our province, for us, whether he wants to or not, I don't really know what his actual opinion is on being the premier of Saskatchewan anymore. It's not working. And we need to put up our walls, and we need to be boundary oriented from now on, because this whole like overseeing who's going to be the leader of like everybody on the planet, he didn't accept or deny it. He didn't stand up for us. He did nothing. And we just need to be dealing on our own terms. There's no assurances, no negotiating that did us any good. The timeline isn't set in stone. The guarantee on terms is not set in stone. Nothing's settled. And it's just going to be thrown in our face at some point probably, or we're just going to have to pay more for the cars or for energy sector that he mentions or whatever. Like it just is going to keep going and going and going and going until Saskatchewan also has nothing left. And I'm no longer willing to give up anymore. So anyway, here's the video of Vassy and Scott Moe talking on CTV News. And again, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch that from the description below. And I'm also going to put up the new poster of Saskatchewan Prosperity Project's events at the end of this, so you can pause and grab all that information too.
Are truly committed to diversifying our trade. You have to be at the table having those discussions, and we have been the last while.
The agreement as it was eventually instigated a reaction from the U.S. president that was different from the initial reaction, where he then started threatening 100% tariffs on everything Canada sends to the United States. The Prime Minister, when he was in Beijing, you were sitting, I think, just a couple of people away from, maybe even right next to him. At one point, kind of remarked about how, the progress we have made, he said, in the partnership with China, as he referenced in that meeting, with the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party, sets us up well for the new world order. Did you agree with that assessment?
That's not a statement I would use. But in saying, because it's interpreted in many different ways by many different people. However, I would say this. When you look at the trade flux, the uncertainty that we have in that, those trading relationships around the world, including China, including the U.S., including we have tariffs from India that are on Canadian products right now. There very much is a change in how trade relationships, trade agreements are coming together. And I explained that earlier with respect to, the broader multi-sector trade agreements are, maybe not be entirely a thing of the past, but may not be as achievable as they were just a few years ago. And so how we approach trade, how we engage with countries, it's different in each country, but we need to be there as Canadians if we're truly serious about, expanding our economic opportunities, diversifying where those products are going, where we're trading around the world. And I would say that, I see a federal government that is making that a priority. Minister Hodgson today is in India at an energy summit. That's good. That's where our energy minister, our national energy minister should be.
Do you reject the idea, to be clear to Canadians watching now, of a so-called New World Order that China is leading? That New World Order is not in any way something that I would have used in that term. I believe there's another opportunity for us as Canadians to engage from a trade perspective, as opposed to getting into broader discussions about, who is the superpower when it comes to, leading the world, whether it be in governance systems or what that might be. And so I think that's why those terms would not be used by me, is because there are multiple definitions and interpretations that people are going to dive into on that. The fact of the matter is, and Saskatchewan's position has always been one of, let's engage on a trade basis, whether it be with China, India, the United States of America. The United States of America, I would say, has been somewhat different with our relationship that goes beyond trade. They're our neighbor, they're our long-standing ally, despite significant challenges more recently. But with many of the other markets around the world, our focus is, how do we trade with you, and how do we advance our Saskatchewan, which is part of the Canadian economy. I'll leave it on that note. Premier, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much.
Take care, Vassy.
please come out to an event that's local to you, or sign up and be a captain so that we can get an event going up in your area. Thanks.
Please like and subscribe.